over the river and through the woods. There's plenty to do when preparing for a big family Thanksgiving dinner. Cooking, cleaning, making travel arrangements come to mind. If you have a loved one dealing with the challenge of short-term memory loss, I'd like to give you a few suggestions that can help your family have a successful get-together. Because your loved one's reality is different from yours, understanding the challenges they face and doing a little planning ahead of time can make the outcome enjoyable for everyone. Here are 7 suggestions to consider so that the entire family and your loved one with cognitive loss have a stressless, enjoyable time visiting this Thanksgiving. Ready? Number 1, pick the best date. Depending on your loved one's level of short-term memory loss, you might want to consider holding the get-together on a day other than Thanksgiving. The goal is a peaceful day. So listen to these tips and consider scheduling the big get-together on a day that gives you the greatest chance for a successful outcome. Number 2, establish a solid start and end time. Now we know that folks with short-term memory loss have a low energy reserve and easily tire. So take that into consideration when setting up the length for the event. 2 hours might be the ticket to success. You can also observe your loved ones for any clues that they're becoming stressed and need to call it a day. Well, we'll talk more about that in a minute. Number 3, consider how many people will be present. Thanksgiving is where we like to have everyone over. However, folks with short-term memory loss can struggle in a large group with lots of people talking at the same time and asking them questions. Keep this in mind and maybe set up your loved one in a quiet area of the room and encourage family members to visit with them in smaller groups of 2, 3, 4 people at a time. This will reduce the chance of your loved one becoming overwhelmed. Number 4, establish special visiting times for out-of-town guests. Oh, well, what about the folks coming in from out of town? They won't be here long and they would like to see your loved one. Consider setting up special visitation times for these guests and have them visit for a short period of time on different days. Make sure family members are prepared to have a good visit by suggesting they make a list of favorite long-term memories they share with your loved one. Remind them that your loved one struggles with short-term memory loss, and so it's better to keep any current updates for the larger family gathering later on. Instead, encourage them to focus on your loved one's strength, remembering favorite times in the past. You may want to send a general email or text to visiting family members and remind them to avoid generic comments like, "Hi, how are you?" "Well, how's your day going?" Instead, suggest starting with a good memory by saying, "It's great to see you. I was thinking about the time when you and I," and the memory. Number 5, be aware of the stressors a different location can cause your loved one. While gathering at someone's house is the general way big family dinners are planned, this can increase your loved one's anxiety by being in an unfamiliar setting. Make sure there is a place where your loved one can get away from the crowd and rest. Or, depending on how easily overwhelmed your loved one gets, consider taking Thanksgiving to them so they can stay in a setting that is familiar and provides a sense of control. Number 6, make their favorite Thanksgiving dish. Food is a great memory device. Most families have a holiday dish that just can't be left out. For me, it was my mom's pineapple dish. Make sure that your loved one's favorite holiday food item is served. If they do remember it, the pleasure of watching them enjoy and talk about the dish will be well worth it. The more relaxed they are on the big day, the better their chance of recalling the food and enjoying it. Number 7, this is a biggie. Observe your loved one for clues that they are done with visiting. Think back to our time and location discussion from earlier. If your loved one is not in their surroundings, consider returning them to their place once the meal is done and before the start of the after-dinner conversation or events. If they're going to stay with you, balance the keeping them involved and the allowing them to rest components. You'll know that your loved one is done visiting when you observe that they stare off into space and their eyes lose that sparkle that comes with being engaged. If they also exhibit fidgeting or anxiety, it's time to retreat from the group. They may ask just to go home. Well, this can be frustrating since you worked hard to provide them with a great day, but what they're really saying is they're tired, overwhelmed, and want a sense of safety and security, and that comes in the word home. This is a point in favor of taking a prepared plate with their favorite dishes to them on the day of the get-together and then scheduling short visitation times for our out-of-town guests. It might just be the least stressful and most enjoyable approach for everyone. I know you want a Thanksgiving where everyone has a good time. With that goal in mind, use these tips and plan the most rewarding experience for all. You might also want to check out my video tip number 6, I've Got Your Back, which talks about the importance of letting your loved one know you are there to help them when they feel overwhelmed. Until next time, my friends, take care.